Wherever you find yourself, at some point, you made an appointment to be there. We're going to talk a little bit about the importance of living intentionally. The truth is everything that we are currently experiencing in life is based on an action that we had sowed in the past. We are living on yesterday's intention. So whether we have mindfully considered the steps that it would take to get to our current position, or whether we have just aimlessly wandered through life, everything that we are experiencing is a result of either intention or neglect. Myron Golden says that success in an area requires intention, while failure in an area requires neglect. All growth is a result of someone's intention towards said growth, and all failure is a result of someone's neglect to do the necessary things that would eventually position them to live a life of success. You can even see this in natural things. Have you ever purchased a plant and thought, hey, I know the exact perfect place to put it? You get it home from the store, you put it in that exact perfect place, but then in a couple weeks, you see that it's starting to wilt, it's starting to die. And the problem is not that the plant itself is not built for growth. The problem is, rather than being intentional about the place that we put the plant, we decided to put the plant in a place where we felt it would look its best, or we just like to see it there. So by neglecting to figure out what the requirements of growth is in an area, we are in turn killing the plant. However, every plant has a plant tag. So if you were to just take a moment to intentionally and thoughtfully consider, what does this situation require to be a success and to grow? You will then make the right decisions that fall in line with, at the end of the day, having healthy plants. You and I are not that different. It's often been said that insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. And so what that means to me is that if we are going to be a success, we are going to have to change. If we are going to be a success, we cannot do the exact same thing that we've been doing and then get mad at life for giving us the result that it's giving us. You want something different? You have to do something different. Things are not just going to change because you want them to change. And intentional living is not merely a philosophy. Intentional living is a conscious choice to design a life that aligns with your values, your goals, and your aspirations. And it is the decision to rob the cemetery of your hopes and dreams. In order to grow in any area of life, we must surround ourselves with things that give us a reciprocal change. We must surround ourselves with the things that, if we invest in, will give us a proper return on our investment. We have to stop figuratively putting money into pockets that have holes in them. We need to make the proper investments that will ultimately allow us to live the life that we really, really want to live. So as we begin to dive into this topic, I want to drive home the point that intention matters. When it comes to your purpose, when it comes to your dreams, when it comes to you living a fulfilled life, your intention is one of the key ingredients to you ultimately getting there. You are the captain of your own ship. So just like a captain has to plan the route, has to prepare for the weather, has to adjust sails, this is the work that is required of you and me if we are going to get to our desired end. One of the things that we need to establish is the fact that if you choose neglect as opposed to choosing intention, your life will still move. It will just move in the wrong direction. And it will be even harder for you to work your way back to living this life of intention. Being intentional is an attitude. It's a settled way of thinking or feeling that is reflected in your behavior. So if we are going to live this intentional life, I love what Les Brown says. He says, you've got to be hungry. And the reason you have to be hungry is because intentionality is linked to the long game. When it comes to living a life of intention, you often do not see the results right away. And we live in a microwave generation where if something doesn't come right away, for the most part, we don't want to deal with it. We can even go to get coffee. We at Starbucks and they taking more than 2-3 minutes with our coffee when we're pulling through the drive-thru. We got a little attitude. Hey, y'all good? What's going on? But intentionality requires work to be done on the front end that should you persist in that work, you will then receive results beyond measure. So how do we do it? Where do we start? The very first thing you want to start when it comes to intentional living is you want to start with clarifying your values. And all this is saying is challenge yourself with the question, what matters most to me? What are the things that I will accept? What are the things that I will not accept as a part of who I am and where I am trying to go? You really want to take the time to figure out, okay, what do I stand for? Because if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. Understanding your values provides a roadmap and a foundation for intentional decision making as we go throughout life. I love what Kim Blanchard says. He says that values should guide all plans, decisions, and actions. Values are the sidelines of your life. And so if you do not have your value set, you will never really know when you're out of bounds. Those that live life aimlessly, they don't really have their values set. And what happens is they live their life because time keeps moving and they look back and they see, man, I am way off track. I am not who I thought I was going to be. I'm not who I wanted to be. And it all happened with you not being intentional about who you are, intentional about your values, and measuring yourself against those values. Values define the game that you're playing. And regardless of what is being presented to you on the daily, if it doesn't align with your values, you shouldn't participate in it. The next step is to begin to set meaningful goals. Define clear and meaningful goals that align with your values. So how this works is you have your values, you have what's important to you, and once those are set, you begin to ask yourself, based on what I value, what are some goals that I need to put in place? Once you establish what your goal is, you want to break them down into smaller pieces. Breaking them down into smaller pieces allows it to not be as intimidating, and it encourages you to start. I once heard somebody say that the starting is what stops most people. We have all these dreams, we have all these desires in our brain, but some of us will not just press play and begin making a small incremental step towards our goals. So break your big goals down into little pieces. I'll give you a practical example of this. Years ago, I wanted to buy my first house, and sometimes buying a house can be a daunting task. All of the paperwork that's required, all of the finances that is required, it can be really overwhelming. And so what I did is I took the big goal of buying a house and I broke it down into small increments. So breaking it down into small increments allowed me to say, okay, in the first 3 months, I need to be here. This is my goal. In the next 3 months, I need to be there. This is my goal. In the following months after that, I need to be there. This is my goal. In the following 3 months after that, I was in my house. And it all started with me being brave enough to break what felt as overwhelming down into a small digestible piece to get started and to press play. And if you're listening to me, you've got to stop aiming to do stuff. aiming to do this, aiming to do that, aiming to do this. I get it, but after a while, you must stop aiming and you need to fire towards whatever it is that you want in life. Intention is important. The aim is important, but the whole purpose of intention is for it to be eventually followed by action. So whether it's big or small, take action. The next step to living intentionally is to reflect regularly. One of the benefits of having your values set and one of the benefits of having goals towards your values is it makes it a lot easier for you to assess and for you to see when you are way off track in life. Often people do yearly reviews where they live their whole year and then they look back. But I would suggest doing a review on yourself, a little checkup monthly. If you do it monthly, you're able to catch it faster when you're off track. Another practical step to living an intentional life is to make conscious decisions. I'm a firm believer that we need to be very thoughtful about the decisions that we make in life. Remember, you have your values and goals set. So rather than rush to a decision, take time to thoughtfully consider, does the decision that I'm about to make align with the values, my foundation, and does it align with my goals and where I'm trying to go? Stephen Covey says that we are not a product of our circumstances. We are a product of our decisions. Be intentional about the choices that you make in every aspect of life. I cannot tell you how many times I have slipped up because I rushed myself to a decision without thoughtfully considering, is this the right decision? Your decision making should never be on autopilot. Another thought is do not allow people to rush your decision making, because there are a lot of people are naturally self-centered. So there are a lot of people that will try to rush you into a decision because it best suits them. However, you're the captain of your own ship. You have to make the decisions that work for you, and you're the one that's going to have to go to sleep tonight and rest on the decisions you made. Don't allow them to rush you. Now, don't become paralyzed by decision making. Don't take forever to get there, but take a reasonable amount of time to make sure that you are thoughtfully considering the right decisions. And if you thoughtfully consider the right decisions and it doesn't work out, you can at least lean on the fact that although it didn't work out, I wasn't careless in my decision making. Next, simplify your life. Begin to streamline some things. To live an intentional life, you're going to have to take inventory of your actions versus your values. So with that, we need to eliminate clutter and distractions to make space for what truly matters. Every great waste of time started with a small distraction. And there's often times where you do not even know how you wasted so much time. It happened because you left the door open to a small distraction that ended up taking over an enormous amount of space in your life. When it comes to eliminating distractions, I once heard that we need to eliminate, delegate, automate. And this is how this works. Eliminate is the first one, and eliminate has to do with us taking time to assess, am I doing something that is worth doing? A lot of times you can find yourself doing something just because it's something that you've always done. But the truth of the matter is, it can be eliminated from your life without really having a negative impact on your life. And anything that is in that area, that eliminate area that can be eliminated and really wouldn't move or shake, we need to go ahead and eliminate it because it'll allow us to have space for what we really, really want. So that's eliminate. Then you have delegate. Some things you cannot eliminate, but they're also in the category where it can be delegated to someone who you trust. So if I can't eliminate it, my next step is to see, can I delegate this to someone? And especially, let's say you're in a career setting, One of the things that I've noticed is for every task that I, as a manager or director, hated doing, there was an employee that was chomping at the bit to learn a new skill. And a lot of times our delegation can lend to someone's growth. Our delegation can be empowerment and can give someone a new skill set. So our first thing is to eliminate the things that we do not have to do. And then it is to delegate the things that we cannot eliminate. Now, if you cannot eliminate, delegate, what you want to do is you want to begin to automate. Automate says create a system that allows you to do said task without overexerting an unnecessary amount of energy. Now, if I can't eliminate it, I delegate it. If I can't delegate it, that means I'm going to have to do it. Work smarter, not harder. Don't be addicted to the hardest way of doing something just so you can say, hey, I did it the hardest way. Figure out a system that will allow you to get the same result in an easier way, in a more effective way that will prevent you from overexerting your energy. Next is be intentional about relationships. We have a whole video on here about the inner circle, so you want to take a look at that. But set boundaries. And a growth thought is if I already set my values, I should not allow anyone into my inner circle that does not align with said values. Just like our natural bodies, the diet we consume affects the energy we project. And the energy that we project affects the results that we can attain. So we need to be very intentional about what we are allowing in our environment. And anything that is consistently negative should not have free reign in your environment. Next up, learn from challenges. We don't like challenges in life, but challenges are a part of the job description. You're not going to get away from challenges. So rather than running from said challenge, run towards it and see what lessons can be extracted from that challenge. Every challenge carries within itself an opportunity. Every challenge carries within itself an opportunity for you to grow into a stronger, more resilient, wiser person. I love the concept of don't waste the pain. In life, we encounter pain at times. However, what we do with the pain is more important than the pain itself. Can we attach a purpose to the pain? Can we set ourselves up to learn from it? Can we set ourselves up to grow from it so that we have not just wasted an experience in life? I believe that every single thing that you're going through has a purpose, and it's up to you to decide that I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to pout and wonder why me, but I'm going to go through the storm head on. I'm going to extract the lessons, and I'm going to come out stronger, wiser, and better instead of bitter. We waste the pain when we do not extract the lessons that allow us to move forward without repeating the same situation over and over and over again. One of the things that I've learned about life is that you will take the same class until you pass that class. And there's some people that are 50, 60, 70 years old that are taking the same class because they will not learn from their mistakes. They will not learn from the mistakes of others. They will not extract the lessons that allow them to apply purpose to the challenge and purpose to the pains in life. I love the concept that you can fail your way to success. There's so many stories of people that are now a success that had so many failures on the way. So don't waste the pain. Don't waste the challenge. And if you fail, realize that you can fail your way to success. The last thing that I want to cover is the importance of remaining flexible in life. Because you will start with intention, because that's what we're talking about. And then something will happen that will disrupt your intention. Disruption always follows intention. With that, it is important that you keep your values and the goal the same, but be flexible in the way that you achieve that goal. A lot of times, the way you thought you were going to achieve something is not the way that you ended up achieving something. Now, you still got to the end. You still reached the goal, just there was a couple of recalculations on the GPS on the way. You're still going to get there. Remain flexible for when life happens. When we're talking about living an intentional life, really what we're talking about is the concept of dying empty. It was Oliver Wendell Holmes that once said, many people die with their music still in them. The late Dr. Miles Monroe said that the wealthiest place is the cemetery, because in the cemetery are purposes that were not fulfilled. There are aspirations that were not fulfilled. There are dreams that were not fulfilled. And the first step to you living a life that is without regret is you living a life with intention. Those that live a life of intention, they leave a legacy, and they live a life that goes beyond just the 70, 80, 90, 100 years that they have on this planet. They live a life that people will talk about for years and years and years to come. The intention you set is directly correlated to the impact that you have in life. If you're listening to me, I want to challenge you to stop burying your gifts. And even if it's in a small way, get started. There's greatness on the inside of you. I believe in you, and you can accomplish your growth mission. Always remember, growth is a journey. It's not a destination. I'm in it with you, and I'll catch you on the next one.